A woman sat down with a psychic in a 500-year-old castle that Henry VIII owned. And she asked the medium whether her husband is living a second life. And honestly, after the month these six have had, it's a fair question in my opinion. Hey, welcome back to Reality Recaps Unfiltered. I'm Ruby, and this is where your guilty pleasure gets the deep dive it deserves. No filters, no sugarcoating, and definitely no pretending that I am neutral, because ladies and gentlemen, I am not. Today, we're back at the Thornberry Castle for the 90-day Last Resort Season 3, Episode 12, titled The Last Ghosts That Remained, which aired last night on TLC. Or if you were on the East Coast, you got a repeat. Yeah, we heard about it. So 6 couples, let's run down the list. Rebecca and Zied, Shekinah and Sarper, Karen and Guillermo, Paola and Russ, Thaís Patrick, and last, but by no certain means least, Jenny and Sumit. And nobody gets skipped in this episode, so let's get into it. Pull up. Let's start with the seance. In other words, Rebecca and Zied. Rebecca has been carrying this suspicion for weeks that Zied has a whole second life running somewhere she can't see. And the retreat is nearly over, ladies and gentlemen, and she has not gotten an answer she believes. So she decides to go ask a medium. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Not the therapists, not Zied, a medium. In a castle with the candles. And I need to be careful here, because I do not make fun of what people believe. Plenty of people find real clarity in a reading, and I'm not stepping on that. But watch what she is actually doing in that room. She is not asking for guidance. She is asking for a verdict. Now, let me give it to Rebecca the fair read, because she absolutely deserves one, and I think I have not expressed myself about her thus far. This is a woman who spends the entire season asking her husband direct questions and getting fog back. When the person in front of you won't give you a straight answer, you will take an answer from anywhere, whether it's a friend, a group chat, or a stranger with tarot cards. That's not silly. That's what desperate looks like when it's run out of the doors. But see, here's the thing. You did not go see a psychic when you want information. You go when you want permission. And Rebecca has already made her mind up about Zied. She's out here shopping for a second opinion that agrees with the first one. And let's go back to last week, the puppet show fallout, where these two stopped speaking and Rebecca said flat out she should not be the one that has to apologize. That standoff never broke. It just went underground, ladies and gentlemen. And now, instead of turning to her husband, she is turning to the spirit world. That's not a marriage in trouble. That is a marriage where the two people have stopped using each other as the source. And the internet is already split down the middle with this one. Half the comments think Rebecca is unraveling and needs to leave the castle, while the other half are saying she has been right about Zied since season 1. And everybody keeps talking her out of it. I keep landing right in the crack between those two, which is usually where the truth is hiding, in the middle somewhere. Shekinah and Sarper. Shekinah and Sarper. And they melt down so completely that they don't even go to group anymore. Let me say that again. The entire premise of this show is group therapy. 6 couples in a room doing the work together. And Shekinah and Sarper have now removed themselves from the room. You cannot get anything out of a retreat that you have walked out of. That's not a therapy problem. That is an attendance problem, Shekinah. And I do think Shekinah genuinely believes that the room is unsafe for her, She has been the group's lightning rod since week 1, and she's not even imagining that. But at some point, the common denominator in every single fight starts writing its own verdict. And Sarper, my guy, whew, you have gone from defending her to just being damn exhausted. And everybody can see the switch. Trust me, Sarper, we feel for you. Now, let's get into Kara and Guillermo. And one bad date finishes it. These two came to the castle already separated. And I don't think we said that plenty enough. They did not arrive to repair something running. They arrived to see if there was anything left to repair. And then Guillermo said the sentence that poisoned all 3 weeks, that he's not proud of her as a mother. You do not walk back from that. And certainly a nice date in the park, having a picnic, is not going to make up for it. Just my opinion. And I want to be fair to Guillermo because he is not a monster. He said a cruel thing in a room built to make people say the thing that they have been swallowing. And the room got exactly what it asked for. But Kara has a new baby, 2 jobs, and a whole household on her neck. And the one sentence she needed from this guy is the one he wouldn't say. You do not get that one back. There's no coming back for it. That's just my opinion, though. Now, Paola and Russ, and I did not expect to be writing this sentence. They are glowing. After a breakthrough night, Paola and Russ are the only functioning couples in that castle, which also means Russ finally completed his homework assignment. Way to go, Russ. And go back 1 week because this is the callback that got me. Last episode, Paola said that there was no distance left to fight across, that it was just a flat line. She said it calm, and I told you that calm was scarier than yelling. I was wrong. Russ was in there swinging for a pulse she had stopped feeling for, and what it turns out was a good one. So good for him for not letting go of the rope. I'll take that as a win for both of them. All right, Thaís and Patrick, who are still waiting on John. Patrick's brother came in hot, went after Thaís' story, made her scream and leave the room, and then gave her a real apology. So this week, Thaís and Patrick go get one. And I love Patrick is the one pushing for it. Last week, I said he'd only survive that if he kept choosing his wife over his brother. This week, he's doing exactly that, out loud, on camera. That's growth, ladies and gentlemen. Way to go, Patrick. Whether John actually delivers is a different question. And I have opinions about a man who flies across an ocean and cannot imagine saying the word, I'm sorry. Now, last but by no means least, Jenny and Sumit. And his parents are still steering this marriage. They are not in the episode this week, and I am covering them anyways because their whole problem is being left out of the room. That drunken night out fight is still hanging over these two, and nobody has cleaned up that mess. And underneath, it is the same thing that they have been fighting about for 15 years. Sumit manages his parents, manages Jenny, and tells each of them a slightly different version. Jenny, my girl, you did not fly across the world for 15 years to be somebody's third opinion. Okay, big question because we're almost out of the castle. Does this format ever actually work? 6 couples came in. One is glowing, one is out of the room entirely, one is definitely done. One is waiting for an apology from a man who isn't even in the cast. One is asking ghosts for advice, and one is being run by in-laws 2 continents away. But I'll say the honest thing. The Paola and Russ turn is real, and it happened because she kept showing up. The therapy didn't fix them. It just gave them a room where showing up counted. And the couples are convinced at least one couple is faking progress for the cameras, and we all know who that is. I'll say this much. The ones performing for the edit are never the ones crying. They're the ones smiling. Let me land this chaotic plane. Will they stay or will they go? All 6. Let me land this plane. And here is my take on the 6 couples. Rebecca and Zied, she's already decided she's just waiting for something to co-sign it. Shekinah and Sarper, you cannot leave with a group you refuse to sit with. And you know what? It's not even Sarper's fault. It's Shekinah's fault. Kara and Guillermo, gone. And they were gone before the plane landed. Paola and Russ, staying. And I'm going to be rooting for this couple out loud. Now, with Patrick and Thaís, staying if Patrick picks her. And Jenny and Sumit, they leave together and they take the exact same problem home with them. Full couple rankings and takes I can't put on YouTube are over on the Patreon channel. Fan, superfan, executive producer, the link is below. So, tell me in the comments, was Rebecca looking for answers or looking for permission? Because I have argued myself into both. Subscribe and comment, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Reality Recaps Unfiltered. I'm your host, Ruby. Have a great day.